Hey guys, welcome. Good evening. Welcome to Stocks with Jose. I am your host, Jose Najarro. Um, so today we're going to start off with simple looking at the pre-market. I actually have not refreshed this page. So we're going to start off looking at the pre-markets. After we're done looking at the pre-market, we're going to take a look at SPY, the overall market, and then we're going to start looking at some stocks that I'm either entering the trade in right now or waiting to get in. At any time, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to look any charts of any stocks in specific, just let me know, and I'll gladly take a look. So right now, I don't know if I refreshed. Um, so CNBC pre-markets that very easy, pretty straightforward. Futures tells you real quick. You just Google CNBC pre-markets. Right now, no change in Dow, 0.25% change in the S&P 500, Nasdaq up, Russell up. So I mean, all these are up, but they're up by almost nothing. So it looks like a flat market right now. Maybe we might have more answers tomorrow. Just in the news perspective, Iran deal is going on tomorrow, so that might be spooking the market a little. I'm not sure what time the decision. Actually, I think the decision will be tomorrow around 2 o'clock Eastern time. So that's when we'll see how the market reacts pre-decision. But I definitely think that might be a big quiet period tomorrow just due to that decision. So just like always, I use TradingView. TradingView is an awesome website used for charting. If anybody has not used it, does not know about it, I recommend going to tradingview.com and using it. There's most of it is free. I used to use the free subscription, but then I started playing with a lot of different extra indicators. So I'm paying right now for the subscription base, but if you're just a simple trader, you don't need to pay for the subscription. You're fine with the free service. Um, Let me just hide my watch list for now. Let's start off with SPY. And like I said, if anybody ever wants to just take a look at a stock, let me know. I'll gladly pause and stop. So right now, the yearly term SPY um, still has we still have form of an uptrend like we did yesterday in the indicators. These are the three indicators I use: the RSI, the Stoch RSI, and the CCI. My favorite out of these three is the CCI. And I usually find the Stoch RSI to be a little lagging. So that's usually, as we can see, both the CCI and just the RSI, they're already starting to give me starting more of a flat line, opposed to this one, which still kind of has a full uptrend. So usually this one's a laggy compared to the other two. But like we said, we still have everything still in the uptrend at least, which is good. Just for my supports, my main support on the SPY is the 200, which everybody takes a look at. But then we have some pivot points around here. We also have this line right here. We have a nice trend line hitting these areas. Then we have this one right here for a more closer term, and then we have this one up here. So we can see these two trend lines are kind of in the same location, which means a lot more traders are looking at it. So right now, if we take a look in the 6 month, let's just take a closer look. So these are my two lines right here. Actually, so we can see them better. So this is even a closer. I'm pretty sure we broke out of it. So I'm just gonna keep this here for future reference. But here we can see the pivot points pretty easily. We had this channel going on here. Once it broke out through all these channels. So right now we seem to be stuck in this channel right here. If you can see, it's been a support, it's been a resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance. So this is definitely, this point right here is definitely a really strong pivot point for SPY. I'm not liking that this candle is under it, but now that I'm taking a closer look on it, this candle is after hours, which with minimal volume. So I'm not gonna take too much attention of it, just because look at the volume for this. Um, so market ends around 16 o'clock. So this candle, we're still between this pivot point. To most of my positions right now are in bullish aspect. So today I did pick up some SPY puts, just to hedge my positions. Um, so I didn't buy many, but just to hedge my positions, just in case we have a down market. So if we do break out of this, we'll start seeing this channel. Then we'll start walking down the staircase. Like I said, tomorrow, with the decision coming up, it's big world news, so we might see pretty a flat line until decision. I'll definitely take a look pre-markets to see how it's going right before 9:30. It's definitely important to check the futures around 8:30 too, to see if there's any change. But SPY, it bounced off this pivot point right here, and we can see it's been a strong resistance right now. So this was May 30th, which it tried to hit, and again it dropped down, and then again in sorry, that's April 30th and April 24th. So it's pretty funny, right? It's almost every 6 days. This is 5/7, the 24th, the 30th, and the 7th. Probably doesn't mean much, right? But and then the 16th, again, it was also a strong support, resistance, but it actually broke out of it for some time, and then it provided some form of resistance until it finally broke out of it. So this is definitely a point to watch. Any questions on SPY for anybody? If not, I'll take on and move on to GS. I actually entered a position in GS today. All right, so let's take a look at GS. So Goldman. Take a look at GS. All right, so here we go. Let's look at it first in the 1 year time frame. The 1 year time frame, we definitely have. Let me change this to. I should definitely change my last one to red. No, actually to green. This point right here has been a big resistance, a big support and resistance for GS. So it's definitely a strong pivot point. As we can see, it dipped down there and then it bounced back up. We've seen it act as a huge resistance throughout this whole time span right here of May to October. So that's late September. So that definitely makes this a strong, for it to last this long, definitely makes it a strong support or resistance. So it's definitely a good pivot point. And then we even see it further on in 2016, early 2017. It bumps out of here. So I entered my position today. Main reason I entered my position, so this is my train of thought. One of my favorite, we had indicators, all my indicators were pointing up. We had a nice uptrend in all indicators. They still have a nice uptrend to them. Put this to the side. And the second thing is, this is definitely one of my favorite indicators, is the moving average, but then specifically the 9 moving average. Usually when the candles are above the 9 moving average, it signals time to buy. As you can see, let's just follow it throughout 2017 to now, right? So right here, buy, buy, buy. Let go of this. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Buy. Let go. Don't touch. Don't touch. Buy. Let go. Don't touch. Buy. Let go. Maybe touch if you want, but you'll probably won't make much money here. Don't touch. Buy. Don't touch. Again, probably won't make much here if you bought here and sold here. But if you were looking at pivot points, you'll definitely see some resistance. So that's why you have to add some other indicators to it. If it's just a 9 moving average, you won't make you might get lucky in some trades. But if you use the 9 moving average with some pivot points, right? So this pivot point would have been here, but these would have. So it's definitely good to find your niche, to find what works best for you. And for me, it's the 9 moving average with my pivot points that I see throughout the charts. Like we see right here, yesterday's candle, we had, well, 2 days ago we had this. I can change this. So we had this candle right here. So to me, these candles are change the color. Change the color on that. Can do. Sorry, guys. I mean, we had this candle right here, a nice hammer candle at the which amplifies a nice sign of reversal. So we had a nice long wick down. It touched the bottom. It touched, I think, not the 200 moving average. 200 moving average doesn't seem to be much of a concern in this in GS at the moment. I don't really see it correlating with anything. Obviously, once it tries to hit above it, it might act as a strong resistance. That's definitely something to keep an eye on once on the way up, but that's at 240. Right now we're at 237. So I saw this candle right here. I saw that the wick went all the way down to our previous resistance that's been since that was a strong resistance, right, or support throughout this whole time span, right? So from, what's this, the third month? That's March 24th to September. So that's 6 months right there that this trend line, this support or resistance at the moment was being built. So that definitely gives a lot of time of buyers to buy, which makes this a very strong support at the moment. So we saw it went all the way down to 227. It touched, and it was like, all right, we touched you, come back up. And the nice candle body was super tight, and that pie gives me very good confidence about this position. Then we had the 9 moving average coming in. The 9 moving average, this was today's candle. I saw it yesterday, Friday, ended the day. I was like, all right, we had a new candle higher than the previous candle, but it still has not, it's still further, still not close enough to the 9 moving average. Today it opened up. I saw it was pretty healthy market. I decided to go in. I think I'm at 236 point something. I entered this trade with my typical 3% stop loss. That's the most I put on a specific stock at any time. So so just is now I'm in this position waiting. My first pivot point is gonna be this 240 type area. It seems we've seen some form of resistance here, and then throughout this area, right? It's not as strong as this green one, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Most of the time, on a strong bull market, if the market continues to go to rally, you definitely can see it just break above it. And after it breaks above it, my next point will be the 200 moving average, and this pivot point right here, which this one seems a lot stronger. We have huge resistance here. We have some form of resistance. It broke out, support, 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 and it broke out. So this one's definitely a point I'm gonna keep an eye out. So if I see some resistance here, I might be like, all right, maybe sell a few shares. But at this, definitely the 200 moving average. And hey, Mold, how's it going? Thank you for joining in. AMD did great today, man. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at AMD in a few. But I think 9:30 it broke that pivot point at 11.40, and after that it ripped. So yeah, after GS is one I'm in right now. After this, I'll finish taking a look at this, and um we'll take a look at AMD some more. Um, yeah, let me just take a look at the 6 month here. 6 month. Again, depending on the market tomorrow, this might like I said, we have that big news coming in tomorrow around 2 o'clock with the administration, so that can definitely determine how the market will go tomorrow, depending on how we react to it. So yeah, 239, 240 will definitely be my first pivot, my first sell off if I see some resistance of it. But like I said, it's not that big, not that strong of a resistance that I will sell my whole position. I might sell like 10%, 20% of the position, wait for it to break. If not, I'll use that 10, 20% to buy back once we fall back down and see another reversal. And this is definitely the point I'm gonna keep an eye out, which is gonna be the 248, 250 area, just because if we look at the 1 year, we have this huge resistance and support throughout this area of 248, and we have the 200 moving average approaching this area as well. So this is definitely a point to look at. At the moment, I'm in GS. Definitely still see I'm still pretty happy to be in GS. Nothing has changed for me since this past morning, so we'll see how tomorrow brings. So let's take a look at AMD. So AMD, let's look at it in. Yesterday we were talking. We were looking in short term, and we noticed that 11.4 was a strong, was a nice resistance just in the short term time, just because after earnings that's the highest it broke. After it never hit that back. So this is for short term. 11.4 was definitely a strong resistance. If we look at it today in the 15-minute time frame, this was what day are we in? Today's the 7th. Yeah, today's the 7th. So let's look at it in the 15-minute time frame. This the 7th. Let's go to 7. Oh, it's already on it. All right. So we have, this is today. Is this today? Yes, this is. Wait, what's going on? Oh, 5 o'clock. All right. So we see pre-market at today, since from 4 o'clock to about 9:30. This 7:40, this 11:40 was definitely still blocking. It was still a nice resistance. We see all this trying to hit it. It doesn't break out. 9:30 hits, and once it broke it we have this nice big candle, and it broke out of that 11:40. And once it broke out that 11:40, it went up, and it made its new leg. That's what AMD. Yeah, there was a huge sell wall at 11.4. It was ridiculous. I guess a lot of traders were looking at it. It lasted usually the first. That's what's usually scary about the first few minutes of the day, right? So this is 9:30. So from 9:30 to 9:45, there was all this volume. So it's the most volume that AMD traded today was from 9:30 to 9:45. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So yeah, right here, right. So it nice sell off, buy off. So it seems like AMD is definitely a stock to wait after the 9:45, after you see that big volatility shoot up, and then after that 45, after 9:45, it seems it definitely gives you a confirmation of where it's going. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. That is true. On Friday at 9:30, we had this big candle where it didn't know what to do. It had such a huge sell off, and we had huge volume there. So now today, for this sell off, we have a new pivot point, which is around 11.7. 11.7 is the new. It didn't break 11.7. Might be a little lower, but let me see why I put 11.7. Is there a bigger point? Let's look at it in a different time frame. Look at it in the 1 hour. Right, 11.7. So now 11.7 opposed to that 11.4 where it was more of a short time frame. Oh, nice. That's a nice 100% gain. That's really good, Mo. Yeah, oh man, that's definitely. I definitely was in AMD calls. Um, I had to liquidate some money, just for some personal reasons, and I sold early. But I'm definitely kicking myself in the head right now for that. But that's really great on your part. Um, or your 11.5 calls also for what date are your 11.5 calls expire? I know you May 11 also. Okay, yeah, that's definitely coming up. So 11.7 opposed to like 11.4, which was the pivot point we put last time due to the earnings high. 11.7 um seems to be a bigger form of support slash resistance, just because we see it in a longer time frame, right? So this blue line right here, that's AMD's current price right now. um, so if we follow AMD's current price right now, we can see right here it's been a resistance throughout this point. It's been a resistance here, resistance here. It's been support all throughout here, resistance, support, support, resistance. Um, so 11.7, we can go all the way back to, what are we in now? We're in November 28th. It's been a resistance, been some form of support right there, and then finally broke off. So this 11.7 pivot point is definitely a lot different than the 11.4 we took a look at last time, just because this one actually has established itself for some time. We can see it all the way back to, what is this, 2000 June. That's what, June 16th, right? It acted as a support here, support here. It's acted as resistance here. So 11.7 is definitely a stronger pivot point than we mentioned 11.4, where 11.4 was just something in the short term. 11.7 is something in the long term. The good thing is, when it's something, I do think 11.7 is a stronger wall. It's a stronger wall opposed to 11.4, where the 11.4 we only had a timeline from earnings to now. 11.7 has actually been some form of support or resistance since December 12th, 2016. So in my opinion, I do believe it is um, a stronger wall. That does not mean it can't break. Um, the good thing about strong walls is the moment it breaks, a lot of traders are looking at this wall right now, right? So if you look at most traders would probably look at the daily channel, so that means they definitely see this wall. So you have more eyes on this wall. When it does break, if it does break, since everybody's watching it, it will break big. Yes, like you said. Well, I guess how it behaves. Yeah. So like I said, like we've noticed in the past 2 days, AMD, the first 15 minutes, it's pretty up and down. Um, so hopefully don't make your decision based on the first 15 minutes. I guess wait till 9:45 up there afterwards, and then maybe make your decision. That's how I would react, just depending on how we see it, how we have seen it react in the past 2-3 days. So the first 15 minutes just seem to be so high in volatility that you really can't make a decision. Um, but yeah, like you do mention, if since it's a big wall, if it breaks, it's definitely gonna go big. And then after 11.7, I definitely do not see anything anything after until 12 until the 12:30 um 12:30 range, which would be this pivot point right here. We might have something. Usually traders have the mentality that you would see resistance in every dollar. So $12 would might also be a wall, just because traders see that as a fake resistance. So whole dollars, half dollars, 11.5, 12, 12.5. Those are usually some form of strong resistance, just based that it's a whole new dollar. And for some reason, traders turn to act with them. But like I said, like 11.7. Once we break out of that, um, I see a nice gain out of that. AMD, I'm long in calls, but my calls are for the end of next year. No, actually the beginning of next year, January 2019. Yeah, the psychological milestone. So yeah, traders definitely put milestones on every dollars. So you definitely see some form of resistance there. And like you see, every time you break a wall, it usually shoots up. So let's see if we can see 12. See, so on these, you can see when there's this candle right here. And I zoom in here. My strike prices are $12, I believe. Just because it's such a long time frame. I used to hold AMD for a long time. I was holding huge positions, and I was like, hey, why am I holding all these stocks when they can be making money elsewhere? And I just decided to go long term in leap calls. So I got them for $12 strike price for January 2019. Um, I'm pretty bullish on AMD in the long term. In the short term, I'm more of a trader based on it. But I definitely do, especially the quarters we saw yesterday. It definitely makes good. It shows AMD is not the same company it was 2 years ago. Yeah. So I'm probably not gonna sell off if they hit 12. I'm hoping for bigger gains on AMD. If once we get to November and AMD is still around 12, I might just sell them and might take a few dollars loss with it. But I'll buy 2020 AMD calls, just because I do see AMD in the long term to be a huge my golden egg, as others would say. It's definitely the one that I feel will make me a lot of money one day. Um, so if 2019 calls, if around November, yeah, AMD is it's definitely one of those stocks. It pulls you back in. Um, so also, is there any other stock you want to take a look at right now besides AMD? So yeah, 11.7 is definitely a strong. I want to say it's a strong wall. In my opinion, if I was the one trading AMD at the moment, I would definitely wait the first 15 minutes of the trade. And just in case you don't know, also tomorrow, USA is going to make the decision on the Iran deal. That's going to be announced around 2 o'clock. So that's definitely something the market is going to keep an eye on. So this decision is going to be made at 2 o'clock Eastern time. I definitely think that might play a role in how the market behaves tomorrow. How it's going to react to what news, that I'm not sure, but I can definitely say that it's going to react somehow. So that's just something to keep an eye on if you start seeing a weird market tomorrow. So also, if anybody else that has just come in, welcome. I see we have a few extra viewers today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll gladly take a look at any trades. Yeah, oil right now, um, definitely hitting the $70 per barrel. Um, the just Mo, are you more of a long holder or more of a day trader uh type type person? I just want to understand the type of trader you are. So another position I'm on ATVI, Activision. Activision, it's for those not familiar with it, it's a gaming company. Um, Creates Blizzard and World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, and it also has Activision, which is game Call of Duty and other games like that. I'm in it in 60 around this price range, 66. I told myself I would sell off around 71, but I still haven't made that decision. Um, Even though now looking at the 4 hour time frame, so definitely one thing I do recommend. There's three times. I don't know if you heard about the three times ETFs. They're pretty risky. It depends. You need to understand how to trade them. I'll definitely recommend if you haven't read about them. They're really good for day trading. Not too well for holding long term, but I think there's a three times ETFs for oil if you're pretty bullish on it. Um, Definitely just take a Google at leverage ETFs to read more about them, read about the risk. Um, but they're good. I find I enjoy trading them, and the one I trade the most is XOXL, which is a three times ETF leverage for semiconductors. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on if you have not done it. But like I said, with three times the gain, you also do three times the risk. So it's definitely something take to definitely read up before trading. But for you to be doing options, I guess you do understand a lot about risk and risk mitigation. So yeah, ATVI, it's definitely I've been in it since '66. I'm around I guess about let's see 5% gain. Um, yeah, that's the thing. Big red on bad days make it scary. But yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I'll show XSOXL in a bit to show you how I trade it. Maybe you can take some pointers and maybe it can help you when you ever decide to trade them if you ever do. Um, let's just look at ATVI real quick. Um, Looking at the daily candle in the yearly time frame, it definitely most of these pivot points are pre-drawn, so it definitely hit um, my resistance here at around $71, and it bounced off it. It did that on May 3rd. We see again today. So depending on how the market is, if it drops below my 69.9 pivot point area, I might just sell off and take profit and decide to jump back in another time. Um, Even though it's still pretty down in the channel I have, the market has been pretty weird. Um, so my channel can have totally shifted. So just in case, if you're a swing trader, one thing to remember is with this whole market being up and down, your channels that you might have done had um, pre crazy market might not work as well right now as they were before. Yeah, TTWO is definitely another one I look at. I'm pretty sure, but for me, I'm more of a swing trader. So yeah, for anyone ATVI, um, if it breaks out of 6.9 tomorrow, 69.9, I might sell off and wait for another reversal. The only thing is my indicators right now are pointing down or seeing a trend. Um, so that's definitely something I'll keep an eye on for now. Maybe get out of this. I might get out of this position tomorrow. Let me just look at it in a shorter time frame. Doesn't nothing to concern me too much. Then let's just look at it in the 15-minute. Yeah, I mean, look at these channels. Most of these are pre-drawn, and it's crazy how perfect they act. Boom, boom, boom. Finally breaks. Then now it's within this channel. Um, so yeah, if it definitely breaks out of my 69.9, I'll sell off and maybe buy back here. The TTW is definitely TTWO. I think I have some stuff drawn for it, but just look at it in the 1 year. That's 5 years. Um, this is, I guess I missed the trade. I should have definitely kept watching it. I've had this previous um, wedge going here. Usually, once it breaks out of it, it means good news. As we can see, it broke out of it, and look, very good news. Um, so it's definitely something I should. When I'm watching too many stocks, sometimes I miss some trades just because I'm not able to look at all the stocks at the same time. But like I said, one of my favorite indicators is the 9 moving average. It started going above here, sold off here. This candle, that and the breaking of the wedge definitely gave it nice gains. Where it's at right now, we definitely have a gap right here. So gaps are definitely something to keep an eye on. Where it's currently at right now, it seems to be a nice resistance slash support. We see it hit its head here, hit its head, hit its head, hit its head, try to bounce off it, hit its head. So it's definitely right now it's at a strong wall. TTWO. Excuse me. Let me just take a quick drink. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, just feel free to post them. I'll gladly take a look at anything else. What other positions? So right now I'm in Goldman Sachs. I'm in ATVI. Oh, SOXL. I forgot. So SOXL, like you see, it's daily semiconductor bull, 3 times share. Oh man, this baby, it's crazy, right? It's like, look, from February 8th, it was around 130 $123, and in a matter of a month, in of 2 weeks, it went up to $200. So it's crazy. I enjoy the tech sector a lot just because from my occupation, it's something I know fairly well. So it's definitely something I keep an eye on for most. As you will see, most of the stocks I trade are based on companies I know are doing well, and I can see a pattern on them. Um, so like we see right now, semiconductors, um, we have a nice uptrend on indicators, and just like always, right? For me, 9 moving average is so simple and it works, right? If we right here, when the candles are above 9 moving average, buy. The moment it breaks, maybe sell off, buy, sell off. Don't touch it again. Buy, maybe sell off, buy, sell off, buy, sell off point. So the 9 moving average for me, it's such a simple indicator, but it works if you use it, especially if you pair it with pivot points. Um, and pivot points again are nothing too crazy to work with. It's just looking at the charts and seeing if you can see any strong points. Um, right now, I'm definitely worried about this area right here, just because we have these wedges from here. We have this one right here. We actually broke out of this one, which is really good. Usually if we break out of it, I try to remove it just to make my charts cleaner. And it's points that I'm not going to take a look at anymore. Then we have these points right here. I actually don't see where this one's going. This one's pretty weird. Seems like my lines got messed up here. So I'm in SOXL since around 120, 126, where I saw like I said, my green candle. Usually, I wait for the 9 moving average to. I wait for my indicators to show an uptrend, but I also wait for the 9 moving average to hit at least to have covered at least 25% above the high of the candle. So even though right here this candle it hit this candle, it still was pretty high in the body of the candle that I didn't want to trade it here. Once I see this candle right here, I decide to go in. So that's how I use the 9 moving average, and I sell off at the moment I see it cross or touch. Even I touch the candle, it doesn't have to be 75, just the tip, just the top of it, and I usually sell off. Right, the 9 moving average. Let's look at it in the 6-month time frame. I definitely don't see much going on here. If we can see anything in the 6-month time frame, nothing. 6-month indicators pushing down, but that's about it. And then usually 45 and 5 and 45. Yeah, so with XOXL at the moment, I'll continue to hold. If it breaks down 3% out of my high right now, so right now, I want to say I don't have a drop point if it drops out of this. I actually have 100 shares of SOXL, and I actually just sold the call for 175, a call for strike price of $175 for May 15th. The good thing about ETFs, 3 times ETFs, the moment you sell, they're pretty. You can sell the calls pretty for a nice price. So I'm holding on. I'm gonna hold on to my 100 shares for some time. So until I see something crazy. So yeah, if that's pretty much it for me. I'm done looking at what I'm supposed to be looking. If anybody has any questions, feel free to go ahead and post them on chat. We can take a look at both fundamental, at both technical, like we did today right now. I also use another website to look at fundamentals. So if you guys want to look at fundamentals of a company, quarterly reports, yearly report, yearly data, revenues, that feel free to post them. In the meantime, let me just send a quick text while you guys put anything in chat if you guys want to take a look at anything. Right, I guess nobody has anything they want to take a look at. Let me just check what other positions I'm in. Make sure I looked at all my positions. You guys can take a look at how I do stuff. So we looked at GS, we looked at SPY, oh MU. I'm also in MU, and that's pretty much it in my position. Yeah, that's the big thing. That's definitely this drop right here is that damn tariff news. We'll see. Like I said, these 100 shares, if I definitely see a drop in below this pivot point of 134, that's my max loss I'm gonna give myself. If it drops below 134, I'll try to come out and come back in later on. Yeah, MU, man, the MU. So let's take a look at MU real quick. I mean, MU in the fundamental aspect is such a cheap stock. I mean, it's what's like 6 MU PE ratio. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. All right, here. I just want to look at PE ratio. I mean, look at that, right? A 5.71 PE ratio for such these people are making money, right? I actually want to look at their fundamentals um just to see how they're doing. Yeah, no, RAM price. I mean, even I'm trying to buy. I was trying to buy some new RAM for my new setup, and you can see it's compared to what I paid 2 years ago. Uh, it's ridiculous. I think I even last year when Ryzen came out, I bought Ryzen first series. So I needed to buy DRAM 4, um, and it's compared to what the price are now from there, it's ridiculous. So let's take a look at charts. Oh yeah, RAM is definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. Just look at quarterly. Let's look at revenue US. Let's also take a look at cash and cash equivalents and total debt. So this is all right. Let's take a look. We don't want to go that far. Um, so first, let's start off with revenue. I mean, look at this since 2016, very healthy increase in revenue from 3.2 billion to 7.35 billion, right? So almost um, a little over 100% gain in revenue in just the um, past 2 years. That's ridiculous. On looking at quarters, if we look at yearly, it's probably a lot bigger. Um, Cash equivalents. Also look at their cash. Um, so maybe if we were talking in the first quarters of 2017, I might have not been so bullish on MU just because our cash ratio to total debt was crazy. Look at it, it's 3.36 to 12. So that's a 1 to 4 ratio. That seems pretty scary on my part. But now let's take a look. Fast forward 2018, 7.83 billion in cash and cash equivalents, which is just cash equivalents or something. And if they're invested in something that they can liquidate pretty fast, so I count it as cash. If it can be liquidated extremely fast, I personally count it as cash. I think in their earnings call they actually mentioned how much of it is actual cash. I think it's like 2 billion. But that I would have to take a look at their earnings call. But from a 1 to 4 ratio back here, it's now almost it's like a 1 to 1.2 ratio, right? Let's just pull out a calculator. So do, 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 do. 7.8. Okay, I did this backwards actually. So it's a 1 to 1.2 ratio. That's crazy. From 1 to 4 ratio to now 1 to 1.2 ratio. It's definitely, and I mean it's been reducing. It's been going down. Um, I I feel like their earnings are pretty soon. Um, Coming up. They are on. No, we still got a couple. We have 2 months of waiting. No, one. Right, we're on 5. Yeah, it's about to just because it's the um. But yeah, if you look at the fundamentals, it's definitely looking pretty healthy. This right here was scary. The first quarter of 17, second quarter of 17, just because that cash versus that total debt was huge. That seemed very scary, but now if we look at it, it's not as scary anymore. Um, so it's definitely something. And for those watching that have never seen this website, it's called Lazy FA. All the websites I do here, I'm obviously not promoting them. I'm such a small streamer that I get no type of benefit for it. It's just websites I use and I find very helpful. So Lazy FA, it's good for those that are not swing traders or daily traders that they want to see more the fundamental aspect, and instead of wasting hours reading the quarterly files, the 10Q or the 10 annually files, um, this one gives you pretty straightforward. Pretty sure I can pull up the annual. Simple, super simple. Look at that revenue jump. It's ridiculous. Um, Revenue far surpasses total debt, so they sell a lot more than they owe, which is pretty good. Um, yeah, that's um, definitely a good website for those that are more into the fundamental aspect of trading. Um, so MU definitely, if we look at it in the technical aspect, 49 is definitely a strong. Um, I was kind of I'm not sure why I did it today. I sometimes I have to start writing my trades and rate myself. Um, but at 49, I sold calls. I sold calls, which it's working out good, right? Because the calls are gonna. I sold calls for the end of the week at 49, so I saw my pivot point. Instead of selling MU here and buying back later on, I decided to sell calls for the end of the week. My strike price is 51 or 50. Let me check real quick. Pretty sure my strike price is. Yep, it's 50. Strike price at 50. But I don't know what if I should have ended up instead of selling a call here, which is good, right? Because now the calls is taking the decay hit, the time decay, and it's also taking this drop, so I can probably buy it back tomorrow for a lot cheaper and determine if I should buy back, and maybe MU might turn back, or if at that moment that I saw that resistance, I should have sold and just wait for another reversal. So this is definitely a trade I'm gonna keep an eye on. I'm gonna take notes, and I'm gonna rate myself on how I do by selling that call. I think I probably should have sold out of the position instead of selling calls, and wait for an entry point later on. So yeah, MU definitely 49 is a strong. Like we say, 49's just that milestone traders give themselves um by by um by the every single dollar. And the next I actually put right here. We have the 200 moving. No, let's look at this. In MU, I've noticed. Was it here? Noticed it somewhere. It was okay. It was definitely in the 2 hour. Was it in the 2 hour? So yeah, in the 2 hour time frame, which is 6 months, I think. Yeah, in the 6 month time frame, um, the 200 moving average in the 2 hour time span. So the 200 moving average, yep, of the 200 time span seems to act as some form of resistance of support. So this is something. Um, this is something I'm keeping an eye on right here. So like we can see, it was besides my trend line here, this 200 moving average has been a better support or resistance. So right here has been a resistance, and we see it here at 49.65. That it might cause a nice big wall. Yeah, I mean, I think MU overall long term, it's gonna be great with if you find a tech stock with less than most tech companies are over 20 PE ratio, and you have MU which with great fundamentals that we see here, um, have a PE ratio of 5.7. Like this one's also um pretty crazy how the price reacts. It's reacting towards it. So yeah, so for tomorrow, what I'm definitely gonna do, definitely take a look at pre-market, but it seems to be one of those days that big news are coming in for world economy that you can't really judge on how the day is gonna be just because once the decision at 2 o'clock is made, um, we don't know how the market's gonna react. If we pull out of the deal, will the market rally or will the market drop? Or if we stay in the deal, will the market rally or will the market drop? One never knows. One it's always a guessing game with these things. It's always almost the opposite of what you think might happen. Um, I feel like I've heard of that website, but I've never I don't think I use it. So let's see. It seems real good. I actually for it's a more of a screener type thing. I actually like it. This is definitely something I'm gonna um start real quick. I'm definitely gonna look at it better. Future sections. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, this one I and one thing I do like I like in the home section. This is something I enjoy seeing. This is I don't know how you call this um this box right here where you see the sectors and exactly what companies relate to what specific sector. But I've been looking for something like this. So yeah, I appreciate this a lot, Mold. It's definitely gonna help me out. Um, I'm definitely gonna take a look at it tonight and early tomorrow to get used to it. I definitely appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you for showing me this. So if anybody has any other questions, feel free. If not, it's probably about my time to head out. I'm probably just gonna edit the video, post it on the YouTube channel for those that don't take a look at don't watch live streams. Um, I'll, I'll post it on there. And like I said, if you guys are always welcome to follow me and all my socials. I haven't posted down here.